the problem we are selling and buying stocks. So we have at most K deals, and we're given the prices for each day, and each day we can choose to sell, like short sell, and then like buy again. Or we can choose to like buy and then sell. Obviously we shouldn't intersect this, and the deals should be after each day. So if one deal is on day 3, we can start another only on day 4. So our deals are either short, you sell, then close, or just buy, then close, or you can skip the day. And you should be careful to not to always close your open deal, so you can't just short sell something and to take this profit without buying it again. So this is kind of dynamic programming problem, but it's kind of tricky one because there are many ways to represent the DP state. Now let's take a closer look at the numbers. At each position, we know that if we have a deal starting in this day, we should close this deal, and this is kind of profit we take starting for this day. And the other part is kind of only depends on our, like, they can be separated and can be cached. So this is kind of cached result or memo. And this kind of memo can only be encoded if we close the deal before the memoization. And to close the deal, you have to do it inside DP. So we have recursion, and inside it, you have to choose the day to close the deal. And J, so J is a close day. And then you take the profit, PJ, PI minus, this is kind of profit for this deal, plus this tail, DFS J plus 1. So this is kind of one solution, and it's not very obvious how to encode this, because inside because we have like, I forgot about this, so we have K, The k is how many deals we can make. And you obviously should encode the k too, because k minus 1. Because so otherwise, how would you know if we take the k or we take all? So this is kind of makes the time complexity worse, because inside it you has of n, and this is already of n squared, and the total time complexity became of n cube. Let's look at my solution. It was accepted, but it's not optimal. It is like 2 seconds almost, where the optimal is 300 milliseconds. And if you look at how I coded it, I use some like hack to make it faster, like using array instead of hash map. Otherwise, it's just simple, like you can skip or you can start. And when you start the deal, you have to stop. And the J position is when you stop. So this is kind of entire problem solution. And the time complexity is n cube and space is n squared. However, this is not optimal, and this is not accepted with the hash map. And let's look at the optimization you can make. So instead of of n squared optimization, is this S or Z? I don't know. So we should encode our state different. Right now we use I and K, and this is a DP. And inside we search for the end. So to make this faster, you either should simplify this state or you should simplify this search. I already explored the solutions from other people, and they kind of not very obvious, like super clever, but not too much to jump from my solution. So I choose to keep it simple. So we can encode a third variable here, and this is like a state, and this would help us to not search for the end. Imagine we have state 0 if we skipping. State 1 is when we like buy, and state 2 is when we sell, short sell. So this kind of allows us to not search, but given that our DFS solution returns profit, and in the current step we know that if the current if we do action of buying, we spending our money. So that would mean that the suffix profit, like DFS next, would be less by the amount of we spending to buy the stock, like act of buying. I don't know if it's a correct word, or you should say it bought. I don't know. And if we short selling, we're doing a similar, and when you short selling the stock, you obtaining the money from it. If you trade, you would know that when you short sell, your investment account grows. So you do profit plus. Okay, but if we choose to close the deal in that today day, so you have to check if your state was like bought the stock, you have to sell it back. So you're doing profit DFS next. DFS next is a current total profit, and you have to sell. You do it again plus, and if your state is short position and you want to close it, you do the DFS on the next. Okay, it's total profit, and you short position, you buying it back, so you spending money of current price. So this is kind of how it works, and given that, you can just encode all the search and inside the DFS. Search happens inside the DFS, and you don't have to do it in an iteration loop. So let's look at the code. S equals 0 means we are free to skip or buy or short sell. This is fine, and you just look for the bet of these three options. And if you're doing action of buying, you encode the state of 1, and if you do action of short selling, you encode the action state of 2. Just remember it. And then you go into the next step, and imagine you have state of 1. That means you bought the stock and you choose to skip this day, or you can close this day, and when you close the deal, you are adding some value. And a separate reverse action for closing the short selling position, and you encode the state of 0 means free of everything, and you have to make sure that you don't keep a position without closing on the last day. Also, you don't doing the action on the last day. So this is kind of how you rewrote basically the same search, a single hash map. Now it's actually very much faster than the first, and first was almost 2 seconds. This is kind of 1 second, but it is because the hash map is kind of slow, and it is time complexity of n squared, and space complexity is the same. The state gives us just three positions, so it doesn't actually count for the space or time complexity. And now we can speed up this by rewriting the same depth first search with iterative loop. So you can watch how I did it, and here it is. Okay, let's look at this solution. It's kind of I just rewrote this depth first search to iterative loop, and I keep the body of the function the same, absolutely same hash map, and it was slower. But then I use arrays and keep the loop and the body the same, just rewrote this with loops, and now the time is much faster. So this is kind of the final version. It is fast, it is not very big, and it has the same, almost the same body as depth first search. So that's it for today.